Welcome to Coffee with Carey. Thanks for stopping by today. Best date ever. Really? Are you sure? Best date ever after an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours maybe even of a little chit chat? That's the reaction you're walking away with. As a matchmaker and dating coach, I'm a little concerned about that. If you were mine, I'd be asking you some questions because I have some concerns here that you may be looking at some things a little differently than I, as your coach and matchmaker, would want you to be. If that's at all intriguing, I hope you'll stick around because this is a quick tip. Also, it's what's on the agenda. I had a client that went out on a date with a guy. She had like 12 dates that I sent her on over like a couple years. I think it was like her second or third date. She said, he was so cute that all I wanted to do throughout the whole date was climb across the table and like make out with him. I couldn't think of things to say. I didn't know if I heard a word he said. I was just so distracted by how cute he was. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I was aiming for. I'm not trying to do that to you. I want this person to grow on you a little bit. I don't want it to all be right there. That's infatuation. That is not something to build a foundation on, lust, right? So I was a little disappointed with that reaction. And of course, it didn't work out. And that's why she was with me for 2 years. By the way, happily coupled, new baby, super happy for her. Love her so much. That was one of the first examples I had of somebody walking away and saying, oh my gosh, that was a great date. He was amazing. He was so cute. He was smart. He was successful. Definitely want to see him again. That was too much of a reaction for a first date. First dates are to let you meet somebody, get to know them a little bit, determine if you want to see them again. Not to have made a decision on the spot as to whether there's true potential here. There's really not a lot of answers that are available to you on a first date. You might know, oh yeah, he's tall enough for me, or she's got a pretty enough smile for me. She's got the blonde hair that I love, or she's petite, which is something I must have in a partner, or he's really close with his mom, or she sounds like a great parent, so that's checking a box for me. You'll know some things you can check off your boxes, but if you walk away with a feeling of best date ever, something's gone wrong. My mother has a thing she's always said to me, and she says that a lot of times when people go on a date, and even just meeting people, that if you're a person who trusts other people and looks for the positive, that it's a thing she calls the perfect stranger, which is that you meet somebody new, you don't know anything about them. You project all of this positivity that you would hope for and expect of someone who's fantastic onto this person without any proof that these are actual qualities they have or that they're good at all. But you just give them the benefit of the doubt. You just make assumptions because you would want them to be that way. So giving somebody the benefit of the doubt, assuming the very best. It's sort of like me on the phone. I assume that everybody I talk to on the phone looks like George Clooney and Julia Roberts, unless proven otherwise. So that's who I picture I'm looking to. Just beautiful 2% people of the population are working in all the call centers of America, according to me, because I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. If they're nice to me, I think they're also gorgeous and fantastic. So if you're doing this on dates and projecting and giving this person all the qualities you are hoping that they have, walking away without truly knowing and assuming that they do, you could be setting yourself up for not only disappointment, but for a real knockdown, because that is too much, not only expectations of knowing, but expectations of them having, and too big of a disappointment when they turn out to be real people who are not perfect as you've built them up to be. Is he dependable? Is he a good friend? Does she share my values? Does she agree with me on some of the major areas of my life that are important to me that reflect my opinions and values and morals? How would you know after one date? So sometimes what's happening here is that this is not a true assessment of who this person is, but it is infatuation, sometimes based on just reaching the end of one's rope with dating and just kind of a Hail Mary, just, desperation for somebody to be fantastic. And if it seems that they're fantastic in the first 10 minutes, we're just going to go all in on this one. Sometimes it's an insecurity, right? But sometimes it's not based on this person. It's about being in love with love, loving the feeling of potential that this could be it. This could be my person. And I don't love when clients go home thinking this could be my person, because it's a lot of pressure. And don't forget, my clients will find out if this other person wants to see them from me. I'll also say you're a grown adult, a grown-ass man or a grown woman. If you want somebody's number and to say I had a lovely time, then by all means you go ahead and do so. But often when people are working with a matchmaker, they reserve that information for the matchmaker to share with one another. But I've had clients who go home and are looking up the train schedule to where this person lives. They don't drive, so they want to take a train and see how long it takes to get to their house. They're thinking about maybe they could invite them to this holiday dinner or be a guest to the wedding they have coming up in 3 months. And that's just getting too far ahead. No date, no first date is going to be so great that you should be thinking into the future like that. You shouldn't even be having those conversations. I know sometimes people get excited on dates and they're picturing things in the future. Oh, we should go to the art fair that comes in July next year. And it's charming and romantic, but not practical, not realistic, and way too soon. Also, another thing to be aware of is if you think this was the best date ever, you've got to check in with yourself on one thing. Is there any chance that you did quite a bit of the talking? Because, I say it all the time to you that people love to talk about themselves. If a date is going poorly or if you're not interested in somebody, ask them some questions about themselves and watch them go. People enjoy it. It's great to feel like people are interested in you, and some people will get carried away with nerves or the fact that somebody is interested. And if you have spent an entire night chatting about yourself to somebody, most people will walk away and say, oh, that was a great time. They're a great conversationalist, despite the fact that my client or the other person monopolized the conversation for about 87% of the time. So just check in with yourself that didn't happen, and then check yourself also, because here's the bottom line. You need 4 to 5 dates to know if this is going to be a person who has great partner potential. So I just want you to be aware that if you're coming home from a date all giddy, there's a lot of other reasons you could be feeling that way. And maybe it wasn't the best date ever, but there's something else going on underneath that you need to check in with yourself about. So do that. And let me know if you disagree or have some other thoughts on what perhaps could be going on after the best date ever. And I'll look for your comments down below. Hey, Mom says that you should give the episode a thumbs up if you found it enjoyable or helpful in some way. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you would, because it's come to my attention only 26% of my viewers are subscribers. And that's just not cutting it, because I would really love to be talking and sharing and helping way more people than just you. I appreciate you stopping by today, and I will look forward to the next time. And until then, have a good one.